Just because you say it doesn't have to go in.
Evoque. Look at the dog.
Hello Rachel, welcome back.
Hi.
We've been here before, right, in the Range Rover evoque. And previous video, just a quick catch up, there were issues with the car that Rachel's been experiencing in that the hybrid system becomes unavailable, a message that many Range Rover drivers are familiar with. Hybrid system unavailable, EV mode unavailable.
EV mode temporarily unavailable.
Yeah, so you can't use it in EV mode, and this is a plug-in hybrid and one of the reasons you bought it, right? So quick update, what's happened since the last video in terms of progress? Where are we?
It finally went back in November, and they had it in for a while.
Let me just check, we're okay sort of from an emotional standpoint, it's not been too stressful?
It's been incredibly stressful, actually.
Right, okay.
It's been incredibly stressful.
Because when you were speaking to me earlier, I have to say, you look very frustrated. Maybe you're calming down a bit for the camera, but I got a genuine sense of significant frustration with the situation.
I'm very frustrated that I'm in this situation.
Right.
Because when I was first purchasing this vehicle, I was toying between this or a petrol Macan.
Right.
And the only reason I went for the hybrid was because of the benefits that I would get having it hybrid, doing a short journey every day, driving it, as it says in its marketing material, up to 34 miles on a daily use for your daily commute.
So
in EV
mode only, right?
EV mode only. 0 to 34 on your daily commute and EV only. Well, I only do 5.5 one way, 5.5 the other way, where 11 daily should fit in nicely, shouldn't it? So I got told in November that the issue I'm having is due to oil dilution, because I've been driving it in electric mode predominantly, and therefore it is a driving style issue, not a problem with the car. It's down to me. They weren't upholding my complaint about it, which I've put forward since then. No, they sent me an email from them in Land Rover's own email address saying the only way to resolve this, basically. The only way to resolve it is to drive your car in petrol more on your daily commute, or take it on long journeys in petrol.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there, I think. The key thing is oil dilution. So the oil dilution issue in hybrids is real. It is a thing. Hybrids are a bit funny, especially plug-in hybrids. Plug-in hybrids that are designed for you to do journeys in electric mode only for effectively as much time as you want, i.e. not using the engine. But think about a hybrid, right? You're in EV mode, for example, and you may be running a bit low on battery. You're coming down a slip road onto a motorway, the engine kicks in. It's going from zero cold to thumping on all cylinders very quickly, right? So is it the best way to warm a car up? And the other thing with a hybrid as well is, if you are doing short journeys and the engine maybe kicks in for a short period of time, it's never getting properly warm. Engines work best when they're warm. When an engine is warming up, you get fuel bypass through the piston. Like that. That was warming up, I think, a little bit there, wasn't it? It was a bit farty, wasn't it? But effectively, you get fuel blow-by through the piston rings, and it will dilute the oil as well. Also, you get condensation in a cold engine, which can further dilute the oil. So we've got to talk oil dilution percentages. They say that if your oil is diluted 2% upwards, it can be an issue. But what percentage was your oil diluted at when they checked it?
So when it went in November, they came back and said the oil dilution was at 8%,
which is bad. Anything above 5% is getting critical, so that's not good, is it?
No. And then what they decided
get you a bit worried, right?
Well, it was, and then they decided that the best way to resolve it was for them to check that the reason it was happening was because of driver style. So they took it on a prolonged journey. I think it was about 90 miles for one day, and then I discovered I looked on my app to see that my car was being driven somewhere on the weekend.
So they were using your car?
Yeah, without my permission, which they did apologise for subsequently when I queried who had decided to take it home on a Friday night. Anyway, they drove it on these journeys and then said, oh, well, the oil dilution is now down to 5%, which just proves that it's driver style, and then they changed the oil. So
oil dilution is absolutely real, and in a normal car you solve that by driving it. The engine gets warm, and the crankcase ventilation system will take the fuel out of the oil to a certain extent, and definitely any moisture, any water out of the oil. It's harder to remove fuel from oil that has been diluted because it's long chain hydrocarbons and they kind of mesh together, but certainly by regular use of a combustion car, your oil will last a year if it's well looked after. But the oil dilution issue in a hybrid car is absolutely not good. And I think the first problem I have with this, right, is the fact that the car, if it needs to fire up, it should be running the engine. The engine should kick in, right? There's obviously a sensor in the car somewhere saying your oil's too diluted, hybrid system unavailable.
Why does it wait until it's 8%?
Exactly.
But also, in addition to this, the servicing on them is every 2 years.
Right.
Well, if you know that there's a potential problem for oil dilution, why is it every 2 years?
And the other thing that I have a big issue with is, where on earth does it say that you need to have a specific driving style for one of these cars?
No,
was
it
that
doesn't.
ever communicated to you?
Even now, I haven't been told properly how many miles can I drive it without the oil dilution occur. The minimal amount of miles can I drive it a day without having the oil dilution problem?
Yeah.
How often do I have to drive it in petrol? If I do my daily commute of only 11 miles, how far do I have to drive it at the weekend to counteract that? And
so none of this was covered in the Range Rover marketing material, are we
none
correct?
of it's covered, which I've sent through to them, but of course they've just elected to say we can't see that the vehicle's been missold.
And I think this is the thing, right? When they're testing and developing these cars, they probably go through a standardized cycle where there's a lot of EV, but also a lot of combustion driving in these testing cycles, right? So these type of issues are people's choices in terms of how they want to use the car and never surfacing, right?
No,
they're not.
100%. If they had told me that I would have to drive it predominantly in petrol, I would not have bought this car. 100%. I wouldn't have paid to have my electrical charger installed. I wouldn't have bought this car, Land Rover. I would not have bought it. Right?
I'm sensing some frustration.
I'm incredibly frustrated because I would have bought them. I can't. And right now as well, if I go and try and buy one that's the same year as this car, it's a lot more expensive than the amount that I'll have to pay off this car. Right?
So effectively, you're in a car that doesn't suit your driving style, your use case, right? Your specific individual needs for this car, which is not really an ideal situation to be in. And potentially, you could be damaging the engine a little bit because your oil dilution is getting so high. I don't know at what point
it doesn't seem to kick out until it's at 8%.
Yeah. So it should absolutely be firing up the engine to keep on top of the oil dilution issues, getting a nice bit of heat into the engine. But this is the software design issues with the car, right? And just how they've kind of pulled it together. I think that's why they're
trying to. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that car manufacturers are trying to resolve it by making adjustments to the software, presumably to kick it into ICE mode at a lower dilution level. But I have no idea if mine is doing that. So my oil was changed at the end of November, 25th-ish of November, and I started noticing a couple of weeks ago that it wasn't properly kicking into the electric, or it would jump out and then it won't go back into electric, just keep saying EV mode temporarily unavailable. So I contacted the garage and I said, look, you only changed the oil in November, surely you can't be telling me that it's acceptable for 2 months later, or 2.5 it was at the time, 2 months later to have an oil dilution problem again. And by the way, here's my log which shows that I've been driving it every other day in petrol and I've taken it on some long journeys. Please tell me, where do I stand? Do you know what they said? It's out of warranty by a month. It's out of warranty.
But the problem that you've flagged whilst it was in warranty should continue beyond the warranty. That is absolutely
correct, but it's not a problem. It's a driver style issue.
This is
my fault.
How can you be told it's a driver style issue? It is just bonkers, isn't it?
But you know what's interesting? I remember around the first year this was happening, I think it was before they changed the electric heater, they said, someone mentioned to me, we think it could be an issue with oil. And I went, oil? And I said, what does that mean? What do I do? Do I get the oil change? Why should I have to pay for an oil change? And they said at the time, but I've only got this verbally, but I remember it, they said, oh no, we will change the oil whenever this issue occurs. You just call us when it's happening and we'll change the oil. Subsequently, I think they changed the EV heater and that discussion's been forgotten, and now I'm told it's out of warranty. So they're not even standing by that anyway.
Yeah.
So where do I stand? And what do I do?
Well, the frustration is, it is a great car. I really like it. It's a nice place to be, but it's a car that seems to be trying to kill itself.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Or me.
Well,
yeah.
And what do you do, right? I think the question that people might be asking as well is, if you're doing regular short journeys and you want to be in battery mode only, why don't you just get
electric?
Yeah, a fully electric car.
I'm toying with that now. I wasn't ready for that 4 years ago.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, it was early days.
It was, yeah. I wanted something that gives me flexibility.
So you knew you were going to be doing potentially more longer journeys back.
I thought I might be back then, but things have changed a bit now, so I don't do that. But also, more recently, I've been talking. So I'm thinking now, what do I do? Do I pay off my balloon and have a car that I'm not entirely sure I can trust, and it doesn't suit my driving style?
It's the risk.
Or
the risk.
Do I buy
think your driving style's fine, by the way.
Thanks. I think I'm all right at driving. But when I've been talking to the garages, they're actually looking to invest in a lot more renewable fuel. So do I still? I don't know. Yeah. Do I go electric? I'd probably go petrol.
Yeah, I think small petrol engine, right?
Probably, yeah.
And the other thing as well, I think they're kind of making these potentially do more electric driving than they should to get them through emissions, to get them into the right categories, to make them more appealing, with a lack of long-term view in terms of what might happen with the engine, right? This oil dilution issue, which is a real thing now. A lot of videos surfacing up about oil dilution on hybrids especially, and whether they're right for some people's use cases. For example, if you're doing lots of long motorway journeys, you're going to be using the combustion engine, so probably all right. Maybe a mix of motorway and then town driving, all right. But we're kind of getting the feeling now that lots of short journeys purely on battery really maybe not so good for a hybrid
Do you
car,
know
right?
how many miles in electric do you have to drive before the engine is warm enough to stop oil dilution?
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand the question.
So, does the car have to be in ice mode to heat the engine up to stop oil dilution?
Correct.
Or will it gradually heat up to enough just in electric mode to stop it?
No. In electric mode, the engine isn't actually running. What's happening is it's disconnected effectively, if you like, so you're only using the electric drivetrain.
Is oil being used at all when you're in electric?
No, you will have had times maybe where the engine is kicked in, but maybe only for a few minutes.
But this is the thing that continues to confuse me. If I'm only doing 11 miles a day purely in electric, it's not using the oil.
Yeah, no, it's
Why
not.
is the oil getting diluted? And then at the weekend, if I do a longer journey, say 30 miles, it does then kick in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that the issue?
A little bit is the issue.
So if I only do a 35-mile journey instead of a 50, is that when the issue comes?
Well, we need to understand how much the engine is actually running for that journey, because it doesn't sound like it's enough to get properly hot. We're talking probably a good
Then how many
45
journeys
minutes.
does it take before there's an oil dilution issue? Because since November to February, I suppose I've been doing it what they told me to do. Some days in electric, some days only in petrol. So I'm doing.
I think.
I don't even know.
Yeah, this is where we're getting at, right? We're getting to a scenario where to get this car into a position where you feel like it's being well looked after, you need to be doing regular 60, 70 mile journeys up the motorway, right? Which is pointless. So I think we have to talk as well about the service that you've received from JLR. How's that?
The guy in the dealership, the sales guy, I felt sorry for him. I think he's pulled his hair out to try and help me.
Yeah.
The service centre, they're nice enough. I don't know if they're I don't know, again, maybe their hands are tied because of the situation, but the manufacturer, they know what they're doing is nonsense, and I think they're just being unhelpful. Because it's going to open a can of worms, isn't it? Things have been missold. Arguably that could be a dealership issue, but I don't know if the dealers were aware of this issue. I don't know. Maybe, but the manufacturers, I believe, were. So
the biggest problem I think we've got with all this is it has been missold a little bit, because they should make it very clear when you're buying one of these things.
It's been missold a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought it. It's entire misrepresentation. I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah, so they need to be upfront and say, look, you need to be doing regular journeys using the petrol engine in this for it to be any use. So what's next for you? Are you holding on to it, or are
I'm
you?
completely unsure what to do, because I do not want to be spending more than that 25.5 balloon payment.
Yeah.
But to get another car, I don't know if I can trust this one. That's my problem. So to get another car, I'm looking at least 40 odd-ish, unless I start going down a grade. But You know, I wanted to have a car that I've owned from new.
Yeah.
Don't want a second-hand car that I don't know how that one's been treated, or to take a step down just because Land Rover have missold something to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, would you keep this if they were, for example, to honour an additional warranty for you?
If they could give me some reassurance and said, I'm going to give you another 4 years of a full warranty, not a half-cut warranty that doesn't cover software issues and it doesn't cover door handle issues, which I've had as well with this car. If they gave me a full warranty for another 4 years, I'll stick with it and think, okay, and I'll try and tolerate doing my driving the way I am. And, you know, I mean, bearing in mind, if they do bring in this extra 1.5 pence a mile as well for having a hybrid, I'm going to be paying that on a petrol car because I can't use this as a hybrid because I don't do enough miles. So the whole thing is just frustrating. Also
quite a revelation that hybrids and plug-in hybrids specifically in short journeys, not just with this platform potentially, if it's not managed well from an engine running perspective, are they building these cars with the software that will ensure they're not suffering from oil dilution, then it is potentially a bit of a hybrid bombshell, isn't it?
I think so.
A ticking time bomb. Worn out engines.
One of the dealers said to me yesterday, obviously not a Land Rover dealer, she said to me, you know, I have a sense of the PCP claims coming around, but it's going to be for hybrids being missold because of this issue.
Really?
Interesting.
That's big, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how many people it's really affected. It's only going to be those that are doing journeys like mine. You know, well, I don't know how many miles does it take.
So apparently no one knows.
No one knows.
I'm sure they do, but are they telling you?
Don't know. Can I be given some guidance at least when you extend the warranty?
But it could be so easy to fix if the software just said, hey, your oil's getting a bit diluted, we're going to run an engine. And it said your engine needs to run because of X. You'd probably accept that. You'd be all right with it. You'd be like, all right.
At least you'd know then.
Yeah, you'd know. The car was telling you, sorry, dude, I've got to just do this thing so that I'm looking after myself.
Which, interesting, I wonder if BMW do that, because I asked my neighbour who has a hybrid BMW, have you ever had this issue? And he said no, but there's just some days when it goes into petrol and others when it will go back into EV, and I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it is doing that.
Yeah. BMW hybrid software is good, and their battery vehicles are great as well, very reliable.
Hence we're on the way to a BMW garage.
We're on the way to a BMW garage now, right? Yeah, good. All right, well, appreciate it, Rachel. It's been great. Good luck. I hope you get to an outcome, a positive outcome.
So do I. A fair
Be it
outcome.
with or without this car.
Yeah.
A fair outcome, that's right. And maybe a third video when we hear more from that bloke. What's his name? Barry Bryan Ombudsman?
Mr. M. Ombudsman.
Michael Ombudsman, yeah. If he ever gets back to you.
Yeah.
What?
Apparently it's a complex case, so it's going to take longer than 90 days.
Maybe it's more people than just yours.
This is exactly what the lady was saying yesterday. Yeah.
Missold hybrids. All right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
That's it for this one. Don't forget to like and sub as always. Stay safe, stay well. See you on the next one, and bye for now.
Bye.